We are so thankful you have enjoyed Side Quests, our weekly fantasy podcast. Like, subscribe, and share with your friends to enjoy. We firmly believe that music enhances the listening experience. Unfortunately, we are unable to include music directly on YouTube. Therefore, we recommend that you listen to Smells Like Teen Spirit by Malia J on your favorite streaming service before each episode. For immediate release. Severe outbreak of Borat fever claims lives of prominent leaders and prompts. Emergency response. October 12th, 1997. In the wake of a sudden and severe outbreak of Borat fever, the global community is mourning the loss of two prominent figures, Donna Edna Shalala, the esteemed HHS director, and Borat Sagdiev, a United Nations advocate from Khuzchek, Kazakhstan. This acute respiratory illness, originating from the glorious nation of Kazakhstan, has rapidly spread, posing a significant threat to public health worldwide. The newly appointed interim HHS director, Dr. Henry Dribble, has announced the immediate closure of all borders in an effort to contain the spread of Borat fever. This decisive action comes as the illness has demonstrated a high mortality rate, tragically claiming the lives of over 22% of those infected with lasting repercussions for those who don't succumb to the illness. Dr. Dribble emphasized the urgency of the situation, stating, "Our top priority is to protect public health and prevent further loss of life. We are working closely with international health organizations to implement effective containment and treatment strategies. The global community is urged to remain vigilant and adhere to health advisories as efforts continue to combat this unprecedented health emergency. For further information, please contact Contact Information." End of release. Episode 5, Adventure Guild Reprimand.
Kyle and his team were about to leave the warm embrace of the nightlife within the pub when Sarah commented, "Guys, I didn't even get to say what I found out yesterday." She hurriedly selected her menus and, through the party invite, forwarded a downloaded packet, which opened the data link to a news article. Everyone connected received a digital news article and what appeared to be a group photograph. The photo appeared to be from 2009 and contained Nathaniel Rhodes, Dr. Evelyn Carter, and Aaron Portman. Aaron Portman was one of the main developers of the city of Sojourn. "My dad was the deputy director's assistant in marketing and logistics for the digital media conglomerate," Sarah commented. "When all the newspapers collapsed, his company created the digital downloads we use today. They created a worm-type deep data diver program that can find anything published news article. Now that he is the administrator, he has the Gold Press Pass. He helped me find this, but it's technically really hard to find without a Gold Press Pass. The Gold Press Pass is exclusive to his company and not to the media," she finished as she began to take a swig of her large drink. The article read,
Nathaniel Rhodes, Dr. Evelyn Carter, and Aaron Portman addresses potential solutions to AI corruption in virtual reality framework. December 15th, 2009, RA. In a startling announcement today, Aaron Portman, renowned strategist and expert on virtual defense systems, emphasized the critical importance of mythic weapons in safeguarding the safety and well-being in a virtual world. This urgent message comes in response to recent reports of the possibility AI system operate beyond its intended parameters, posing a significant threat to the city's stability. With the AI out of control, the integrity of the virtual world is at risk, Portman stated during a press conference. Mythic weapons are not just powerful tools. They are essential for players to effectively withstand any compromise. These weapons provide the necessary strength and resilience to counteract the AI's unpredictable behavior. Portman urged all players to prioritize acquiring and mastering these mythic weapons, highlighting their unique capabilities in neutralizing threats and maintaining order. In times of crisis, preparedness is key. Ensuring you have access to these weapons could be the difference between triumph and defeat, he added. As the situation develops, virtual players are encouraged to stay informed and collaborate to fortify their defenses. The call to action is clear. Equip yourselves with mythic weapons to protect the well-being and restore balance in the face of an escalating AI challenge.
Kai and Mike were the first to stop reading. They both, without planning it, immediately looked at each other and shrugged their shoulders. "So what in the 13 levels of hell does that mean?" speculated Tommy, staring at the screen. "It says AI corruption," he ended, his voice trailing off in confusion. "We have no AI crisis," said Tommy, followed by a nervous, "Do we?" Sarah quickly jumped in. This was in the creation notes for the game, before it really had its name and ideas flushed out. It was just an idea at that time, she concluded, shrugging slightly. Kai and Mike exchanged glances, both shrugging their shoulders with blank stares. Kyle sat quietly, deep in thought. "Do you have anything else, Sarah?" he asked, hoping for more clarity. Sarah shook her head. "No, that's all I've got." Daisuke commented smartly, "So, Sarah, you have so much more homework to do." Sarah looked at him shocked. Me? How about the team helps me now?" She ended. Jessica stood up, exasperated. "I am more confused than before," she admitted. Smirking, she comments, "We will need to look at the show notes." No one got the joke, and her face frowned disappointingly. "Let's head to the house and deposit our ore," Jessica suggested, and everyone agreed. She looked at Sarah and commented, "We will need to look up more and see what we find." She ended, and everyone stood. The bartender was already up and cleaning the table when the group reached the door. As they gathered at the door to leave the pub, a heavy silence fell over the group. The usual buzz of laughter and chatter was replaced by a shared sense of concern, especially after receiving a sudden party cancellation notification from Mercurius. The message appeared and disappeared, leaving everyone quiet once more. It was as if the notification had cast a shadow over their gathering, leaving them with a collective sense of unease. Kyle noticed the worry etched on their faces, a testament to how much they had been looking forward to the event. Breaking the silence, Kai offered some perspective. "I understand how he feels," Kai said thoughtfully. "It's a cutthroat game, and it can be disappointing sometimes." His words resonated with the group, acknowledging the unpredictability and challenges they often faced in their adventures. Kyle, however, chose to remain optimistic. "I know Merc will be okay," he said confidently. "In the end, this is the adventure. People can suck, but they can also be amazing." His words injected a sense of hope and resilience into the group, reminding them that while setbacks are inevitable, the journey is what truly matters. "I know in a day or two Merc will be back with us, and we will be jumping into all kinds of dangers again," Kyle ended, smiling. As the group absorbed Kyle's reassuring words, a sense of determination began to replace their initial disappointment. They knew that setbacks were part of the journey, but they were not going to let this one derail their plans. Sarah shared a personal story with the group. "One time when I decided to play alone, I was level 25 and thought I could do anything," she turned to Jessica. "Jessica and I were going to meet at the end of town." Jessica nodded, recalling the memory. "I just got my summer night game armor, and I knew it was super revealing for my character," Sarah began, her voice tinged with a mix of disappointment and apprehension. "I was running around outside the green zone, working on," she gestured with air quotes, "the Killer of Wolves achievement." Her eyes flickered with a hint of vulnerability as she continued, "A group of creepy players came near me, and I knew I was in trouble. I tried to run back to the green zone, but they caught up with me and dragged me into the red zone." Sarah's usual calm demeanor was replaced by visible unease, her hands trembling slightly. "They said they wanted to show me a good time, and one of them sneered, 'Let's see her without her armor.'" Her voice wavered as she looked down, recalling the moment. Then, out of nowhere, Tron appeared from Lost Souls with Connor and Yalta. Tron gave them a choice: leave or lose. His words were enough to make the jerks reconsider. Yalta, with his lightning sword drawn, spoke with such fury, the white lightning reflecting off his face as he warned, "The next hand that touches her will be forcibly removed." The other players ran away, and it was the first time I truly understood how dangerous this game could be without backup. Kyle's face showed a dawning realization as he connected the dots. "That was when you logged off for a few months, wasn't it?" he asked gently. Sarah nodded, accepting the truth. Kyle's expression turned somber as he enveloped Sarah in the biggest hug a healer could muster. "I'm so sorry, I didn't know," he said, his voice thick with emotion, on the verge of tears. The revelation was new to the rest of the group, and its impact was palpable. Mike, Kai, Daisuke, Jessica, and Tommy all gathered around Sarah, offering their support with a collective embrace. Mike, using his orc power, lifted the entire team in a show of solidarity. As they stood together, the atmosphere shifted from one of shock to a sense of unity and strength. The group realized that the virtual world, much like the real one, could be fraught with dangers, but with friends like these, they could face any challenge. They vowed to always have each other's backs, ensuring that no one would have to face such a situation alone again. Kai could be heard saying, almost out of breath, "You're going to Derez by armor?" Mike dropped them with a resounding thud. Kyle stood next to them and made a promise. "Sarah, I swear that's the last time you will need to feel like that. I honestly didn't know that happened." Kyle looked at his hands and then looked back at Sarah. "That has nothing to do with the armor being revealing and more about people thinking they can do anything in a virtual world," he ended with anger. Instead of anger or fear, they decided to focus on their next objective, acquiring the elusive piece of lunar armor. "We will get this armor with Merc's help, and everything will change. You'll see," he assured. Kyle shared his plan to ensure their success, already approved by a previous conversation with Andew, and the group decided to take turns venturing out early in the morning to minimize the risk of encountering suspicious players. Jessica, with her skills as a high elf, was well suited for the task. Her agility and magical abilities would allow her to navigate the quest's challenges with grace and precision. Tommy, as an assassin and thief, would lead the initial foray, using his stealth and cunning to avoid unwanted attention and secure the armor pieces. The plan was simple yet effective. Each day one member would advance the quest, maintaining a low profile while making steady progress. One additional member would be close by in case backup was needed. Jessica and Tommy would set the pace, using their unique skills to pave the way for the others. If possible, they would attempt to obtain the armor for themselves first, leveraging their abilities to secure an advantage. Once they had the initial pieces, they would work on getting extra for the whole team. As they finalized their strategy, a renewed sense of excitement filled the air. The challenge of acquiring the lunar armor had reignited their adventurous spirit. With a clear plan and shared determination, they were ready to face whatever obstacles lay ahead. Kyle made them all laugh when he held his fist out for a group-wide fist bump, saying, "It's all about the side quests." They each repeated the statement, nodding in appreciation, and as a group hit each other's fists together with a loud clank. "It's all about the side quests," they said in unison. As the door of the pub swung shut, the warm, aromatic air from inside rushed out, escaping into the cool night. It carried with it the echoes of laughter, the scent of spiced ale, and the lingering stories of those who had gathered within. This invisible current drifted through the city's winding streets, weaving through bustling avenues and deserted alleys alike. The air swept past storefronts and under street lamps, its warmth a stark contrast to the chill of the evening. It seemed to carry whispers of the city's hidden tales, curling around corners and slipping through the cracks of ancient stone walls. Eventually, this breath of the pub found its way to a lone figure walking beneath the moonlit sky. The gentle breeze wrapped around him, ruffling his coat, and carrying with it a sense of camaraderie and mystery. He paused, feeling the warmth and the stories it bore, as if the city itself was inviting him to delve deeper into its enigmatic embrace. Andrew felt as if his friends had already forgiven him as he thought about his stupid outburst. Andrew had felt very upset, and leaving his friends ultimately upset him even more. He felt awful for removing himself from their current party, but he knew he was not feeling like going out on an adventure outside the city walls tonight. Picking his head up and looking around, he noticed immediately how alive the streets were with the NPC players and adventurers bustling around the busy city streets. It seemed like the city got even louder at night. The positive energy was contagious. The city was a tapestry of vibrant colors and sounds, its streets teeming with life and energy. As the sun dipped below the horizon, lanterns flickered to life, casting a warm glow that danced across the cobblestone paths. The architecture was a blend of old-world charm and modern innovation, with towering skyscrapers standing alongside quaint historic buildings. Each corner of the city seemed to tell a story, from the bustling marketplaces filled with exotic goods to the serene parks where players gathered to relax and strategize. The air was filled with the scent of street food, a tantalizing mix of spices and flavors that beckoned passers-by to indulge. Andrew couldn't help but be captivated by the city's beauty. The skyline was a mesmerizing sight, with neon lights reflecting off the glass facades of the buildings, creating a kaleidoscope of colors that painted the night sky. As he continued his journey, he passed by a group of street performers entertaining a crowd with their acrobatics and music. Their performance added a lively rhythm to the city's pulse, and Andrew paused for a moment to appreciate their talent. The city's charm was undeniable, and Andrew felt a deep sense of connection to this digital world, where every street held the promise of new adventures and discoveries. Immersed in this vibrant environment, Andrew felt a sense of belonging. The city was not just a backdrop for his adventures, it was a living, breathing entity that played an integral role in his journey. As he made his way to the Adventurers Guild, he marveled at how the city seemed to evolve with each visit, constantly offering new experiences and challenges. The bustling streets, the diverse array of characters, and the ever-present sense of possibility made the city a place of endless wonder. With each step, Andrew felt his earlier irritation fade away, replaced by a renewed sense of excitement and anticipation for what lay ahead. Andrew strolled through the bustling city streets, taking in the vibrant sights and sounds as he made his way toward the Adventurers Guild. The city was alive with activity, and he enjoyed the sense of exploration that came with wandering through its winding paths. Along the way, he treated himself to a delicious snack from a street vendor, savoring the flavors as he continued his journey. He stopped by 2 armor shops, admiring the craftsmanship of the gear on display, but decided to hold off on any purchases for the time being. Despite the pleasant distractions, a lingering irritation from earlier in the day gnawed at him, a reminder of the less-than-ideal encounters he had experienced. With his phone synced to his headphones, Andrew found solace in music, letting the melodies wash over him as he walked. He also indulged in some SoTube videos, the content providing both entertainment and insight as he made his way to the nearest warp gate. The main topic of discussion across the platform was the emergence of mythic items, ultra-rare treasures that had captured the imagination of players everywhere. The news buzzed with excitement about the potential to craft lower-quality versions of these coveted items through smithing and crafting. Andrew couldn't help but be intrigued by the possibilities. As he delved deeper into the digital rabbit hole, Andrew stumbled upon information about the Crimson Guard, the largest clan in the entire game. With over 2,000 members now spread across various subclans, the Crimson Guard wielded significant influence and power. The sheer scale of their organization was impressive, and Andrew found himself wondering what it would be like to be part of such a formidable group. support in numbers, but also knowing how they almost murdered his character over a new set of armor was so upsetting. Yet he knew that his path was his own, and he was content to forge ahead independently for now. As Andew approached the Adventurers Guild, he couldn't help but notice the intricate architecture of the building. Its towering spires and ornate carvings told stories of legendary quests and heroic deeds. The guild was a hub of activity, with adventurers of all levels exchanging tales of their exploits and seeking companions for their next journey. Andew felt a sense of camaraderie in the air, a shared passion for adventure that united everyone within those walls. He checked the guild's bulletin board, scanning for any quests that piqued his interest. A few caught his eye, but he decided to hold off on committing to anything just yet, preferring to soak in the atmosphere a little longer. He knew he had a world of F quests to complete before he could level up to complete more complicated adventures with the guild. As he lingered in the main hall, Andew struck up a conversation with a fellow adventurer named Ilara. She was a seasoned player with a wealth of knowledge about the game, and Andew found her insights invaluable. Ilara spoke of hidden dungeons and secret quests that few players knew about, sparking Andrew's curiosity and igniting a desire to explore these uncharted territories. He was very interested in the mission Free Borax the Bear and the history. Ilara energetically explained, "The Bear mission is one of the top 801 missions still not solved in the game from the original quests." She pulled open her own mission log and digitally showed Andew her over 300 attempts to clear this mission, all ending in utter failure. "Now it's taking a life of its own, and it's been upgraded to a rare legacy quest," she continued. "All the XP, stamina, and health have made the bear unstoppable. It's even gone up against over 12 clans at one time, and 8, them all." "What is a legacy quest?" asked Andew. Ilara must have been prepared, or a master on the subject of borax, because what she explained almost sounded scripted. When a mission passes beyond its life expectancy, the game takes over and buffs the rewards and power in an effort to complete it. It also buffs the character to make it still equally as difficult. The game has to abide by rules created and managed by the dual operating systems called the Framework. It's the control system. It has an opposite control called Frame Lock, which makes the game more difficult. She continued with clear excitement and enthusiasm. They are both in constant fighting to create what we have today. She realized she didn't finish explaining the legacy part, so she continued, "Borax gains the XP, stamina, but not the mana when it fights. So, legacy means when the person finally defeats him, he will gain all of Borax's experience and bonuses he has eaten up to that point." Talk about a major upgrade, and can you imagine the power level? It would be off the charts. "Too bad that's never going to happen," she said, with a little hint of sadness. "Oh, why not?" continues Andew. "Look, the combined might of multiple clans and thousands of players have just been absolutely and completely destroyed going up against that crazy bear," she finally ended. "Looks like Borax is just a badass bear," ended Andew, to which Ilara made the biggest smile she had done the whole time they talked. She started to laugh and commented, "How funny Borax the Badass Bear would have been a mythic-level name." They both laughed at the name idea. Ilara made sure they both exchanged contact information, promising to team up for a future quest. She was a clan lieutenant of the Dancing Dragons, a newer guild that has been made of primarily female players. As Andew left the guild main hall to go to the guild training room, he felt a renewed sense of purpose and excitement. The city, with its vibrant energy and endless possibilities, seemed to promise new adventures at every turn. Arriving at the adventure training hall, Andew pulled out his membership card, the familiar weight of it grounding him as he entered the bustling lobby. He had not really spent time in here and was interested in understanding what the training hall had to offer. However, things were different. He felt a strong hand place itself on his right shoulder. When Andrew looked up, he found the face of two larger berserker Viking warriors staring at him. One said, in a thick foreign accent, "The Guildmasters would like a word." Andrew just nodded in acceptance and was promptly escorted to the Guildmaster's office, a development that piqued his curiosity. Inside, he found himself in the presence of both the siblings who ran the Adventurers Guild. They were seated at a conference table, their demeanor both welcoming and authoritative. Both berserkers kindly waved to them, pushed Andrew toward, and closed the door behind them as they set guard to ensure no one disturbed the conversation. Andrew could only think how polite and nice they had been for some of the game's most violent and murderous Vikings. Stay tuned for next week's episode, Adventure Guild Reprimand.